Hello, hello. Today is a good day. Let me tell you. I've just gotten off a client call and it's one of the beautiful ladies who said yes to the 6 sessions with me. Just going to adjust this a wee bit. You're a little bit low. That'll do. Yes, so this is one of the beautiful ladies who said yes to the 6 sessions with me. She started last week. And when we got on the call today, I genuinely could not believe. I mean, she looked about 20 years younger. Completely different energy, completely different mindset, just feeling more playful about life, more engaged in life. And I won't go into details because obviously the details of every session remain private and confidential. The energy shift was so palpable that I came downstairs to my boyfriend and I was like, holy fuck. I was like, I'm so excited for this lady and I'm so excited for the people who said yes to this because it's just such a huge shift in 1 week, you know? And we were talking, this lady and I, because she's also a manifesting generator, we were talking about, well, I was explaining to her that as a manifesting generator, we are the time benders of the human design world and, of the planet. We are literally quantum beings. When we decide we want something, we can see it done. We can feel it as done. And one of the things that slows us down, and this is the top tip, I was going to share with you, someone's just trying to call me there. One of the top tips that I gave her was stop explaining yourself to people. Stop explaining when your sacral gives you, responds to the world and is like, oh, that's what I want. And it shows you having it already and you can see a quicker way than some other people of getting there. You don't have to slow yourself down or put other steps in the way just because other people have done it that way. Doesn't mean that other people are wrong. It just means that your way might look different and it might feel different. And to others, I think sometimes to others, a Mani-Gen can seem very chaotic and a bit reckless because we just go, oh, look, how do I get to the end point as quickly as possible? That's basically what I spend my life doing in business, in everything, which is so interesting because I'm also not like a quick fix person when it comes to, I love the process. I love doing the inner work. I love going to the gym and training and seeing those gradual improvements. But I think that sometimes I get quicker results because I've already decided that the thing I want is done and whatever I feel like the aligned action to take, and I just take that action without then second guessing it. I am at my most powerful in my manifestation abilities when I literally go, oh, I know what I want. I want to make X amount of money. Or I want this many clients. I want to work with that kind of person, or my pricing's now going to be this or whatever. And I just decide and then I just go and do the thing. And for example, so I have a lot of people come to me, obviously, who are entrepreneurs. And when people say to me, I need a website, I've got to get my website sorted before I can X, Y, Z. I'm like, well, what's the end game? Well, I want to sell my work. I want to get clients. I want to sell my artwork. I'm like, cool. So does creating a website really light you up? Like, does it feel exciting? Well, everyone's got one, so I feel like I should have one. Not the question. Does that feel exciting? Do you feel inspired by that? Does it make you feel successful and excited and juicy and satisfied? And I know that everyone will have a different thing that they're aiming for. For a Mani-Gen, it's usually, that feeling of satisfaction or excitement. Does that make you feel that way? Does your sacral, or does your authority in human design, whatever that might be, does your intuition effectively, does it say, yeah, that feels really good? Or does it say, I feel like I should, and then your energy just goes sink, sink, sink. So yes, I understand that as a Mani-Gen, I'm very much like, let's go, I've got the thing and I want to do the thing and I'm going to do it now. My sacral's like, whoo. I get that. And not everyone is made that way. My point is, your path is going to look very different to other people's. And anytime you seek to follow the path of another, it's purely because of safety, or maybe you don't believe in yourself fully yet, or you don't trust yourself fully yet. Again, there's no shame in that. Holy fucking shit. You know, this business was built on the mistakes that I made trying to do it the way that someone else did it, and then going, oh, actually, that isn't really what I'm meant to be doing. I'm going to be doing it this way. So sometimes you have to kind of follow someone else's way, because if that feels safe to you at the beginning and you start following the way that somebody else does something and then it doesn't work for you, rather than continue like flogging that horse that is already dead, it ain't going anywhere now, it ain't going to get you to the finish line, go, okay, horse, you're not for me, I'm going to go over here and do it my way. So when people come to me, because I'm so fucking quantum leap-tastic, and that's basically what a Mani-Gen does, is bend time. It's like we can see what's at the end. So we're like, well, why not just do that? Why do I need a website? Why do I need to have that? Why do I need to do this? You know? And I said to this client today, when I started my podcast, I think the first 2 or 3 episodes, I just said at the beginning, oh, I haven't got an intro or an outro, any fancy music. I'm just literally going to talk because I just want to get a podcast out into the world. If I'd have made myself follow the standard structure and create an intro and an outro and have lovely music and have a sponsor and get a piece set up on my website about my podcast and set up a separate Instagram account or whatever else, you know, people do for their podcast, again, none of it is wrong. It's just it doesn't light me up. Yeah. And if it doesn't light me up, there's very little point in doing it. So the more I trust, for me, my authority is my sacral, the more I trust my sacral, the more I just feel excited about what I'm doing, and I'm less attached to the outcome, but I tend to get the outcome that I was aiming for quicker. And I know that it's a contradiction. I get that. Manifestation and law of attraction, it's like it's full of contradictions. And the sooner you get on board with that it's not something the logical mind can actually always understand or explain. It's just something you feel. It's like, I don't actually know how this is going to happen. It just is, you know? I've had so many people come to me for one offering and end up in another, or like upselling themselves into something else because they want more. I've had people reach out and ask for things that I'm not even really offering officially anymore, but for some reason, someone somewhere said my name, they found an old live stream and they've come to me to ask for it. And if it feels really exciting for me to offer that thing again, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. When I release attachment to my journey, needing to make sense to anyone else, things get really fucking easy and really just like really exciting and fun, and they just feel so good. And I said to my client this morning, I was like, life is meant to feel really fucking good. And anything outside of that is either you're on your way to feeling good again, or you're trying to make yourself go in someone else's direction. You're trying to placate somebody else and validate their system by saying, oh, I think your system's going to work for me. You know, so the more people that buy into their system, the more it validates their system. And so, yeah, they probably end up getting more successful as a result of that as well, which is, you know, great for them because they've put something together and it really fucking works for them. But if you're like me and you're not a super linear person and following the steps and ticking the fucking boxes and like having to wade through the treacle all the time makes you feel exhausted and like you don't actually want to do anything and you don't want to put anything in your diary and you're just like, and you just feel exhausted, maybe it's time to free yourself up and start owning what your intuition is telling you, owning it with those crazy fucking desires and ideas that you have to just do something and just do it. Just take action. Just grab the fucking bull by the horns and say, yes, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to give it a go, because no one gives a fuck if you fail apart from you. No one is watching you that closely that if you quote unquote make a mistake, people are going to like slam you for it. And if you're at a point in your career or in your life where people are watching you that closely, well fucking done, because you obviously did something right at some point to have so many fucking eyes on you, listening to and paying attention to what you're saying and doing. Yeah. So when we release that need to people please and to placate others by following their system and justifying their way of doing things, or justifying, yes, I understand that some people need a system and that's great, but people like us, we tend to want to move real fucking quick. And yes, sometimes what that means is that we move so fast that we lose our footing and we fall on our face and we have to get up and dust ourselves off and go, oh, I missed a step. So rather than going, oh, I missed a step. Oh, no, I'm a failure. Oh, I wasn't right to do it my way. Oh, I knew I should have been slower. I knew I should have taken my time. No. When you're like me, when you're like us, particularly if you're someone like a manifesting generator, when you move that fast and you fall on your face so that you can go back and put another piece in place, that is how it was meant to be for you. So stop worrying about falling on your face. Stop worrying about getting it wrong, making a mistake. There's no such fucking thing. When you follow your intuition and you allow yourself to be guided by what you really want and by what you know to be true for you as an individual, and you stop trying, as I keep saying, stop trying to placate others by doing it their way. You want to move fast. So let yourself move fast. If you want to take 2 days off and do fuck all, and then suddenly you feel inspired and you're like, oh, now I've got an idea for 5 different programs I'm going to run, and I've suddenly downloaded the entire business plan for my business or whatever. That's what we do. That's what people like us do. We're not meant to slow ourselves down. We're not meant to like, yeah, like get the horse going and be like, and then go, oh, fuck. Oh no. Oh, fuck, I left the people behind. It's like, no, you're meant to leave the people behind. Because at some point, you're going to get tired, get off the horse, go and have a little cup of tea, get back on the horse. And some people might have caught up. Great. Some people won't have done. Some people might have overtaken you. Who gives a flying fuck what anyone else is doing? Just keep focusing on running your own race, on playing your own game. This is your life. It's your journey. One of the beautiful things that tends to happen for people when they're working with me, particularly at the moment, because I've become so much more aware of, my own unique transmission and what I hold in my frequency without even trying. We've all got that innate blueprint that we carry, right? That is, we can't explain it to other people. It's just something, it's just who we are and what we do. And there's something in the essence of who we are that other people feel and understand about us that sometimes we don't even understand about ourselves, and we can't quantify it, can't put it into words. We just are it. And I'm beginning to understand more and more that by not questioning and not trying to explain those things, not trying to explain the how I do what I do, because I'm actually not really interested in working with people who want to know a step-by-step how. I find that slows me down, and I find it slows them down. If they feel like they need to understand exactly how I do something, then it slows me down, because suddenly I've got to start operating as a different energy type. I've got to start operating as, like, say, a generator or something like that, and go back and explain how I did something. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to be me and then respond. And if someone asks me a question about, oh, how'd you do that thing? And if it feels good to answer that, I will. But what I used to get stuck in was really explaining to people, like, it's different. So there's this piece around manifestors and the part of the manifesting generator that is kind of, that correlates with the manifestor, is that this need to inform, that actually it's very important for us to inform, because otherwise we're like 10 miles ahead and people are like, what the fuck just happened? So I've learned that using the motor in my throat and informing and just kind of telling people what's going on, and doing this kind of thing where I feel inspired to share something verbally, to jump on and do a live stream like this, I've learned that that's actually a really powerful thing, not just for me, but for the people who end up watching it. And rather than trying to be like, oh yes, this is powerful, I'm going to do it, just kind of knowing that and trusting it from a place of just like, the best way I can describe it is like leaning back into certainty, that the more I have spent time just showing up on live streams, just letting the message be the message, the more I trust it, but also the less attached I am to, there was definitely a time where, gosh, quite a few years ago now, where live streaming was actually kind of first becoming a thing, and it was like the way to sell things in your business. I used to go live nearly every fucking day, and I went through a phase where I would like make myself go live. And that was good in a way because it got me in the habit of like getting over my fears and my sabotages. So it was really helpful in that way. But then it got to a point where it was like I felt like I had to do it. And if I didn't do it, it became a condition. If I don't live stream, then I won't make any money. Then I won't be a success. Then blah, 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 blah. Then I'll become irrelevant. I'll be invisible. People won't care. You know, all of that bullshit that we tell ourselves. Ultimately, as long as it feels good to me, I'm going to do it. As long as creating a podcast feels good. Some weeks I record 2 or 3 episodes in a week and then I schedule them out. Other times I go 2 weeks and I haven't posted and I miss a week of posting an episode of the podcast. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The people who want to come and work with me are not so attached and needy that they need that level of consistency that they might be sitting there going, oh, fuck, there's no podcast this week. And they might be a bit gutted because they love to hear from me. This is a thing, by the way. Your people want to hear from you, just so you know. Like, I saw a post on Instagram yesterday of someone say, I can't remember who it was now. If I remember where I saw it and who it was, then I'll link it in the comments under this because it was really great. But it was basically saying, you're the people who love you and who love your work, if you post 100 times a day, they're gonna love every single piece. And it still astounds me that there are people who work with me at the highest level who then come and invest in my lower end offerings or my like mid-range offerings and group programs like the tappings and things like that, who watch all of my live streams, who, you know, who like binge watch my YouTube channel, who listen to my podcast, who buy like my ebook journal and my meditation bundles. I'm like, I see this, like, you know, certain names just pop up time and time again. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. What an honor that someone loves me, loves my work, loves the way that I describe things and put energy out to the world, that they enjoy and engage and resonate with it so much that they're just literally investing over and over again. And it's not even the money. It's like that they're just wanting to receive content from me, through me. What a fucking privilege, you know? And when you remember the people who resonate with you and who really love you and your work and everything about you, those people want to buy from you. You know, there are people out there who are literally waiting, like, what's her next offering going to be? When's she going to do a live stream? Oh, yes, I've got an episode of the podcast to listen to tomorrow. You know, like someone messaged me yesterday and they were like, oh, I just remembered that you do a new episode tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I get to wake up and listen to your podcast. And I was like, what? That's amazing. And I know that I'm very Leo, so it's, you know, I love to celebrate that stuff, and it feels really good to me to be acknowledged and received and appreciated in that way. And I have no shame around that. I love to be appreciated. I love to be loved. I love to receive those messages from people who are like, oh my God, I watched your live stream and you said something and it changed my life, or I've made so much money since I started doing that thing that you recommended. That's exciting to me. That's really exciting. And I love receiving that acknowledgement and appreciation and that recognition. And if that's something that you're craving, just own it. You want people to love you. You want people to love your work. You want people to buy from you on repeat because there's something about your frequency that they crave and they desire. Like, that's a beautiful thing. It's fucking lovely. Let me tell you, it's fucking lovely. But the main point I wanted to get across to you today, I'm just so excited because that client session I did earlier was just so fucking mind-blowing. Yeah, anyway, it was mind-blowing. I am so excited for this woman. Her life has just already changed so much in a week, and she's got like 4 more sessions with me out of the 6. Oh, so excited. I'm thinking I might offer like 2 more sets in September if anyone is feeling called, because I am genuinely loving this style of working where I just do 6 sessions and you don't get support in between, but you just get the 6 sessions and then we just dig into all of the things and we use all of the magics that I've got. So it's not just like emotional clearing, it's not just EFT, it's not just coaching, it's like every single tool that I have in my toolkit, of which there are many, and we draw on whatever we need. So it's completely tailored to you and what you need. So I'm feeling to open 2 more in September. I'm not going to put anything out about it officially, but if you're watching this and you are like, fuck, I need that, then please do message me, because up until the end of August now is completely fully booked. So my next availability for any one-to-one work is going to be September. Get your ass in my diary if you know it's for you. But yes, my main point that I wanted to make on this is, if you feel that you know what you want, that you don't even have to be like super fucking clear on the how, as long as you're like activated and excited and juiced up about the idea of creating, receiving, being a something, it's yours already. And the more that you feel you have to explain it to somebody else, the more you feel that you have to figure out something out before you get to the end goal, those are actually the things that are keeping you from having it. When you just decide that you want it and then allow it to show up for you, you will be surprised and delighted by the way that the universe brings this stuff in. And there's another lady who might even be watching this live stream right now, who, you know, in our last session that we had together, she's doing a few one-to-ones with me as well. And last week we had a discussion about how she had just done some of her homework from our session, and then she went out into the world and she met somebody who is new in her life. I assume she hasn't met this person before. I didn't go into details, but this particular person reflected back to her the industry in which she wants to be working. And she was like, oh, wow, okay. Someone who lives, who like works, owns a business right near my house, who is in the industry that I want to be in. Fuck, that's really fucking cool. So which I don't want to give too much detail away, because obviously these are private sessions, but basically the industry in which these people work in is not the coffee shop industry. They just happen to own a coffee shop as well. But it's just this idea that the universe is going to deliver people to you in the most unexpected ways, because isn't that more exciting? Let me just leave you with that. Isn't it more exciting to not know how it's going to happen, but to know that it's going to happen? How much better does it feel? How much more surrendered and relaxing does it feel to know that you get to have the thing that you want, and that not only is it that you don't have to figure out the how, it's actually going to show up quicker if you just release the how altogether and just, excuse me, burping as I shift here, if you just trust that it's coming and then get on with your life and let the universe, let life bump into you, let things just magically show up for you. That's why people get so frustrated with manifestation, is because they're so attached to the how. They're so attached to, but I know I need to take action and I think it needs to look like this. And then they try and make a fucking plan. We make plans and God laughs, right? You've heard that phrase, because that isn't really how things work. And when you look back over your life, I can guarantee you will find some of the best things that came to you. And the best things that came to you that felt really good will have come to you in a way that you didn't plan, or you hadn't expected, or maybe you'd given up on. That's one of my favorites. It's like, I guess that's not going to happen for me, but that's okay. And you just let go. And as soon as you let go and you're okay without it, the thing fucking shows up, right? Magic is always at play. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. What is it that you want to receive today? What do you want? What do you want from your life? What are you naming and claiming? Drop it in the comments below, and I will see you real soon. Have a great day. Bye.